Hello, hello, hello.
Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.
All right, y'all. I'm here tying up a loose end. Give me 1 second. I'm thinking to move this over to the member channel. Miss H, I'm glad you're here, boo. I don't see a membership by you, but this was supposed to be a member live. It's late night and I'm talking some shit. So I apologize to you, man.
Purchase your tracks today.
You just happen to see it? Okay, so you are new to the channel. Listen, I'm going to be talking about some things that I would typically not want to be on my public channel. And, but listen, feel free to come back. To my members, meet me over in the member channel, please. And you're going to have to come in the chat to let me know you're there, because I won't be able to see you. That's the only thing about doing this. I can't see my chat numbers. Okay. I'm about to press that button. Okay, I have officially moved over to the members channel. I have to now wait to see what happens. If you're in the replay, thank you for your patience. Let me know if you guys have made it the transition over to the channel. What? I have to send you a link? All right, y'all. I don't know how this is going to work. Oh, okay. You made it. Okay, I'm just texting Stacia. Oh, it switched over on its own. Okay, cool. Okay, all right, all right. So this is just a very impromptu live. I just happen to have a little bit of time. I've been wanting to come back to the member channel, to the Goddess Lounge, for a minute. So this was actually supposed to be a member live in the first place. Nothing announced. I haven't posted it anywhere. Just all of that to say is going to be a quiet live, but I want to talk about Cory Hardrict, who is Tia Mowry's husband. If you are looking at social media at all, you probably know that they announced that they will be divorcing. I don't know if they're getting back together or working it out or not. But the reason I'm here, I wouldn't even normally be talking about this, to be honest with you, because what they do in their marriage is their business. I was even questioning why they announced the divorce, like seemed to be kind of soon in the game. But in that regard, I was listening to an interview. Okay, so I don't know if anybody here listens to the Wiley Show. I think it was the Wiley Show. Yeah. So something led me to the Wiley Show, and there was another YouTuber on there. Her name is Kiki Green. Shout out to Kiki Green. Kiki Green was being interviewed on his channel because she had some, I guess, tea about Cory Hardrict, who is obviously, again, Tia's husband, right? And so I'm listening to this. First of all, she's from LA, which is my city. So that piqued my interest. But where she said everything had happened, she apparently met him when she was a teenager, by the way. And I'm going to get into that. But I'm familiar with the area, all of that. So I was like, what? All right. So basically, as the story was told from Kiki, and she probably live on her channel right now. She stays live on her channel late night. She was a teenager. I think she was 14 years old when she met Cory Hardrict. She said that he was 20 years old at the time, that he had moved onto her best friend or her mother. I think she lived with her father, but she would go to her mother's house, and her mother lived in Inglewood on this particular block. When she would go over there and hang out with her friends, she one day met Cory Hardrict. Cory, let me put a picture of Cory up here because Tia's not in the picture at this point. And I'm only talking about this because I've always had like weird vibes about Cory Hardrict. I don't know why. I don't know if it's his sunken eyes. He seems somewhat mysterious. And why are none of the solo pictures of him visible? That's weird. Oh man. I don't want his wrath on me. I'll just put him up here with her. I think she was pregnant at this time or had just had the baby. Okay, so I'm trying to remember where I was at. This is why I need people on the panel with me so I could have a reminder. Okay, so this lady, Kiki Green, who said she was always on the street where she met Cory Hardrict initially. When she met him, apparently he lived in an apartment down the street from where she and her friends would always be at, where they lived. And at some point, he had met one of the guys that in the group. this particular guy is one that she had a crush on. And I got you, Wayne. I got to finish my thoughts. So Kiki Green had a crush on, I guess he was like the neighborhood fox. He's supposed to be fine. She said they were talking, teenage stuff. And all of a sudden, Cory appears. She said he appeared like a vampire on a gloomy day. That's how she remembers it. Just out of nowhere, she said. So all of a sudden, he's always hanging out with her crush and always pulling him out of the friend group to show him something. And I think it wasn't just him. It was like him and maybe 3 others. So like she said, he split up the friend group at this point. Now, mind you, she said these ages of the friend group was 12 to 16 years old. And she said Cory was 20. All right. So just think about that. Stranger on your street, all of a sudden, hip to hip with a 14-year-old, and they're like inseparable at this point. Him and the young guys. Okay. Well, apparently at some point he got his roommates. He said his roommates left, basically abandoned him, and now he had nowhere to stay. So he had this kid convince his mom to let him stay with them. According to her, and her best friend apparently lived right across the street. She said the balcony oversaw basically the whole street. And that, that's where they got a lot of their intel. The best friend, she's been in the apartment and stuff, the layout. So I'm going to get into that. And I just want to know, is it just me? But I think it is weird. But anyway, so the mom, apparently was convinced to let Cory stay. She said he stayed in total on that street for like a year and a half, so maybe a year with the kid. The mother, she said, worked at night and was always working. So she wasn't, because I questioned whether or not, maybe the mother was involved too, but no. So he's staying with the kid. She said he was basically a bum. For somebody who was supposed to be pursuing acting, he was never going out on auditions. He didn't work. She said all he did was hang out with the kids. And apparently there was no TV in the room. There was like the kid had a bedroom and maybe there was a sofa in there. But she wasn't saying Cory did anything inappropriate with the kid. I just want to make that clear because people were insinuating. But she did kind of allude like, something was off. She didn't specifically say anything happened. She just said she didn't know what was going on with them in that, that they were in. Maybe he was just, I don't know. I have no idea. There was some couple other weird things that happened with like Missy Elliott. I guess he was getting a couple of parts big enough to where Missy Elliott left him a voicemail, which seemed weird and creepy also. But I'm not going to get into that. But listen, her name is Kiki Green. Or you could go to Sean D. Wavy's channel, because he also talked to this Kiki, or the Wiley Show. You can go to any of those and listen to what she says, because she's really animated and she tells the story really well. But it caught my attention just because it is weird that at this point he's supposed to be a grown man. He's in Inglewood. He came from Chicago. Now Tia comes into the picture because apparently he was at the bus stop on a pretty known street, a boulevard in Inglewood, across from a pretty known burger spot. And that's where Tia or Tamara picked him up. They saw him on the bus stop, thought it was cute. This was the story. So her whole thing is, why would she or them, at the time, I think they were students at Pepperdine University, picking up a dude off the bus stop? People were arguing in these chats where she interviewed that, so what? People meet people on bus stops, especially back then. This was like, what, the 90s? And I get that. And that's not a big deal because they're young, right? But for Tia, who and her sister, because I guess her sister met him first, and that's the other thing. The sister Tamara met him first. Somehow Tia ended up with him. But they say that, I mean, Tia and Tamara, they had sister. I mean, they're pretty successful. I'm sure that money is probably still rolling into this day for that show. I'm sure it's on somewhere in the world. So it's not like, so it is kind of weird that she or one of them would pick up this dude off a bus stop. Now, from me and my intuition, I'm feeling like she obviously knew him or she had seen him before, maybe on set, because at this point he had done a couple things. And I think maybe something they were on together. I can't think of it at the moment, but that's what I'm thinking. Maybe she saw him and was like, hey, you want me to come get in my car? What you doing on the bus stop? And at that point, they started dating, got to know each other. Tia supposedly was at this kid's house a lot in her, BMW, parked in the driveway all the time while the mama was at work. And Tia is 2 years older than Cory, keep in mind. So she's even a little older. But at this point, she says that he basically went from the kid to Tia. So he went from the kid and then he moved in with Tia and then, happily ever after. But today they're supposedly divorcing. I never really even cared. When I heard about the announcement, I'm like, okay, Anne. But I do realize, obviously it's a big deal because, Tia and Tamara, they've been framed as America's sweethearts as children. Now, Kiki has a problem with the fact that they're biracial and being portrayed as Black women. Now, she and I have different perspectives on that, and I'm not going to go there either. But what was my point in that? So he moves on. He moves on with Tia. Fine. Now she kind of says the guys that he was hanging out with, the guy he was staying with, the kid, and his friends, as adults now, have all pretty much gone bad. Like, she basically said he was a bad influence on them. That she feels like had he not separated them from their friend group, they would be doing as well as everyone else is. Now, I don't know, she threw out some things that it could have been as far as his influence goes. She says, I'm not saying he was a pedo. They could have been playing video games all day, as far as I know. They could have been talking to girls, appropriately aged for them, as far as she knows. But her whole point is that it is just weird. Why are you not out on auditions, out in Hollywood, where all the up and comers go? People who come in from out of town, they don't know any better and typically end up in Hollywood and roommating with a bunch of people. That's how that kind of goes. But he was in Inglewood alone and homeless almost, with that, if not for this teenage boy and his mother. So she was saying she didn't know. Could have been that maybe they was smoking dope. She's not saying they did. She's just throwing out things. But I had a little bit of a epiphany, I guess you could say, in the matter. Because I've always questioned him and the children. And y'all know I don't talk about children at all, like in a negative light, which I'm not doing now. I just want to say that, though, because my intent is not that. But let me see what I have a picture. I think I have a picture. And this is not going to really give you what it needs to give as far as what I'm about to say, but it's something. Where is that picture? Maybe it's not meant for me to show it, y'all. That picture is not showing up. Let me see. Oh, I didn't download it. Okay, so beautiful family, of course. But from the time she had her son, when he was a baby, I immediately felt like, he might have a little autism. There's a look. The daughter also has, which I think could be just the eyes, because Cory has these eyes. They're like sunken. Let me see. This is no shade. I'm making a point. Just stick with me. Okay, so this is not going to give what I'm trying to give you here, but I'm just trying to say what I feel like is that maybe Cory himself has some type of gene in him of a slowness. Because now that I think about it, that could be why he was hanging out with those kids, because he's himself a kid. You know what I'm saying? He might just be a little slow like that. Because I don't feel like he's like a bad person that would prey on a child, because that would be the other question. Did he groom that kid? What was he doing with that kid? Those kids? I mean, she did say they would talk like sex stuff and all that, but they were boys, and I know boys do that, so even at an early age. So I don't know that that's the question. But when I saw this, of course, they're just being goofy. I really did see it in him. I'm like, maybe he's just got a touch of like Asperger's or autism himself. And maybe it passed down to the kids. And that could be why he gives off the vibe that he does, because he's trying to cover it up. Because she's never, as far as I know, I've been waiting, to be honest, for her to make an announcement. Because most mothers, especially in the industry, when they have a child with autism or, some type of illness, they usually come forth with that because they have a platform and they want to, bring awareness, whatever the situation is. They might want to do fundraising. So usually they are pretty open about these things. And plus, you pretty much know when you see them, and they probably feel the same way. So let me just tell people. But I don't know. I just never got that. Tia is not that type of person anyway, because she seems like she needs to be perfect. Except for in this picture, of course. I was actually surprised to see this picture. It's cute. But, she is goofy. I mean, I'm not going to say she's trying to be serious and under all the time. But when I say perfect, I mean just her looks. I mean, she's pretty. But I just feel like she gives off that, like, I don't want to give them too much. Also, I feel like she's had a competitive vibe thing going with her sister, like from childhood. Like she, I think, has always been, in her mind, the cuter one, the more popular one. I do remember there was a public conflict with those two. Wayne said he used to watch her cooking show. I haven't never caught her cooking show. I've seen her talk about her cooking show on different things, but I've never actually seen it. She is, I don't know. She's very, I don't even know what to say about her. She's interesting, I guess. She's been doing her TikToks and all her little dancing things on her Instagram. But she's always working. At least she seems to. I don't know how legit these jobs are. They're actually paying jobs or what the deal is. But my thought, yeah, that's my thought though, is that he has a childlike mind himself. And that's why he was so comfortable hanging around them kids. That's really what I think. And I just really feel like he didn't understand the difference. And I'm not giving him an excuse if he did do anything inappropriate, of course. But again, that wasn't the accusation. So, and I'm not trying to put that out there. But it is just weird, just the whole thing. First of all, who moves to Inglewood? Well, maybe now, but back then, no. I don't think that would have been a smart thing for anybody to do, because that's when the gangs were really real prevalent back then. Today, it's different. It's a different day. Most of those people are locked up at this point, if they still kept up with that lifestyle. Yeah, they changed laws. They made these what did they call those laws where people grouped up, two or more people grouped up outside would be considered a gang. Even if you weren't a gang, you could have been with your brothers or sisters. But if you were in a particular neighborhood on a particular block and you were just grouped up, a couple of y'all, you could get scooped up and run in just because of that. Gang injunctions. Yes, I think that's what they were called. Gang injunctions. They had a lot of those gang injunctions implemented, clean the streets a lot with those. So for Cory to move there, but he did come from Chicago. I don't really know. I couldn't really find much. I didn't do too much of a deep dive, but a little bit I saw didn't say too much about his childhood. Just mostly talks about him coming here to LA or to California and then linking up with Tia. That's like his whole story, is that he's Tia's husband. So, but Green, this YouTuber, the one who was an eyewitness to a lot of his stuff back then, says that he's a bum. She calls him a bum. She says this divorce is probably a long time coming. And I feel like, looking at his resume, he has been working a lot. He has a huge body of work behind him. So the fact that he's still not really known, like he's known to us, but I don't know that he's like unknown. He's not like a household name of any sort. But I guess you could just say he's a working actor and has been doing so for a very long time. So in his own right, he is pretty established. And so at this point, I was feeling like Tia felt comfortable enough to go ahead and make that move, because he's been doing a lot more work these days than usual. Like I've seen him in a lot of things that normally, I wouldn't. Like I think he was in The Shy, and what was he in that I saw him in? I was like, okay, Cory. I can't think of it. But y'all probably like, Dan, will you please come with some information? My bad. I was literally like listening to other people on YouTube and I wasn't getting what I needed. So I was like, let me just go live. Let me go to the member channel. I'm overdoing my member channels, videos, and uploads. So I'm here. Are you there, Wayne? Are you asleep? Oh, yeah, it is morning. Huh? Good morning to you. But yeah, listen, God bless them. And hopefully whatever they do is in their own, everybody's best interest. Nobody's hurt. And that's it. Everybody lives their life and things move and change. People move on. A reason or a lifetime, right? People come and go. It's just the way the ball bounces. What else is going on? There's a lot of stuff going on, though. There are all these rap beefs going on with the girls. Nikki out here acting a fool as usual. Oh, okay. I posted a couple things on my community wall. Let me look because I forgot already. Okay. Oh yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. They robbed her LA home. It says they took 300 to 400K in jewelry, cash, and electronics from her bedroom. And she was not there, thankfully. And I'm hoping, and she probably does have insurance, which, it still feels very violating to have somebody rob you like that, come into your home. So, wishing her the best. Whoever got this post from, they posted Nicki Minaj and her husband's picture underneath the post, talking about a couple. Said sources say that a pair took off with the Stars 3 Grammy Awards, and they show Nicki because y'all know Nicki's problem right now is that she's mad because they took her song, what is it, Super Freaky Girl, off of the out of the rap category for the Grammys and put it with the pop songs. And she didn't like that because it takes her out of her usual competition. And she basically said, the people who are going to be voting, they're probably going to vote for their white musicians. And she feels like Lotto's song, Big Energy, belongs there too. If you're going to do it, then be fair about it and put everybody over there. Mariah Carey was also on that song, singing her lungs out. Oh, shoot. I don't know what just happened. Let's try that again. So, I mean, it makes sense. Nicki went on to say that she felt like they were trying to basically wash out black women from rap, from the category, especially. If they take her out, I think there was Doja Cat, Lotto, who I think she said her mom is, she calls her biracial. So she's claiming she's not a black woman. And I think Doja Cat is also biracial. I don't know who else is nominated or who potentially will be, but Nicki went on to go back and forth with Lotto on Twitter. It's all over the blogs, child. So if you haven't seen it yet, I mean, you can easily find it. But they did throw some things at each other. Nicki started it, honestly. Lotto ended up dropping, she had some audio that she had. I guess she was keeping it just in case to prove that she was telling the truth about her side. But the bottom line is she called Nicki a bully. And I have to agree with her because Nicki Minaj has really been giving these girls a hard time. And Cardi B stands out because they really got into it. If you guys remember that there was actually a physical confrontation where she ended up with a lump on her head, Cardi. And that situation has got them still to this day beefing. So I don't know. Nicki, she needs to just have been the bigger person at this point. She should be supporting these girls instead of pitting them against each other and starting crap, making, and dividing, she's basically dividing everybody because she's putting certain people on her songs and clowning others and subtweeting and all kind of stuff. And nobody likes that. Lotto was done. She let her have it, and she deserved that. She even brought up the fact that she has R word people who are the closest to her, which is her husband and her brother. Nikki did post and delete a response to that. And she deleted it because she sounded crazy how she responded. Let me see if I have that. I think I took a screenshot. Yeah. Let me put it up. Let me put it up on screen. But I'm gonna listen to this Kiki Green lady, right? Because when I first heard her telling this story about Cory and stuff, I was like, she sound like somebody who I kind of vibe with, because she gets stuff, like, because she's from LA. It's like a different thing with these entertainers. But I guess because I had subscribed to her, some stuff started popping up on my timeline from her. And one of her videos popped up from 5 years ago. And the title said, R. Kelly has hoes, not victims. I'm like, what? What? Excuse me? I thought this woman was an intelligent woman, bragging about her bachelor's and her master's degree. And she sounds articulate. She's funny. I couldn't believe she said that. But then she starts talking about her childhood. She was raised by her dad and the way her dad raised her and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay, I kind of get it. I kind of get it. I had to unsubscribe because then she also, I don't, she was saying that she supports Trump, MAGA, but still, like, I don't know. Okay, let me pull the screenshot up. I know it's taking forever. You're here. Click, click, click. Okay. So she responds, didn't care about our work when she was begging for features, didn't care about Kodak's past, didn't care about the accusations made about Dr. Luke, who produced Big Energy. Newsflash, scratch off. Oh, she started calling her scratch off, by the way. I've never R-worded anyone. I've inspired millions. You're the one of them, bozo. So, first of all, she's calling Nikki out, Lotto is, for basically being surrounded by others. And in response, she says, you didn't care about our word when you were begging for features. Okay, so she's not denying it. She's just saying, like, well, dang, you didn't care about it last week. And then she's going to say, you didn't care about Kodak's past. But if I recall, Lotto basically put out there that she ain't, well, she put out there that somebody tried to have her compromise herself for a feature. She didn't name him. Everybody assumed it was Kodak because he has a reputation. But I doubt that Lotto let Kodak put his dirty finger on her. She said, didn't care about the accusations made about Dr. Luke, who produced Big Energy. Making it seem like she hasn't, like, people are going to really, in the music business, say to a big producer that you can't mess with my song because of your past. And when the music industry is full of people with past, everybody is in the music industry probably has done something that they should have been arrested for. So for her to just say these things, though, then she calls her scratch off instead of Lotto, which is such a disrespect. She says newsflash. Somebody had brought up an old tweet of Lil Kim's, and Lil Kim was calling Nikki Bozo back then. This was like back in 2011. So it sounds like she's now using Lil Kim's comeback for her beefs now. And somebody in my comments said now she knows how Lil Kim feels. because she didn't give Kim the respect she deserved and still doesn't. And that's what happens. It's called karma. And Nikki she should know better. So Lotto had hashtag 40-year-old bully trending last night. It might still be trending today, because that's what she was calling Nikki, a 40-year-old bully. Nikki came back and tried to say, well, you look damn 35. How old are you? It was comical, but this should not be happening. Like, come on now. It's only a handful of female artists that they even, show us. Can't they just all have, why isn't there not room for everybody? And that's the whole point, I think. There is room for everybody. It's just that people like a Nicki Minaj with such huge insecurities won't move over. She won't let people, have their little shine, and that always backfires on a person. And that goes for regular life too. So if you out here trying to stop somebody's shine, then you need your ass whooped. But no, for real, like, that's seriously, it's no need for that. And all that says is that honestly, you low vibrating, running with the devil, like devil's minions out here undermining people with your energy, even if you're not even doing anything underhanded. Some people go too far, but so what else is going on? So the girls are fighting. Let me go to one of these Instagram pages. We want Hollywood Unlocked, On Site, Neighborhood Talk, Gossip of the City. Let's do that one. It's already up. Let's see what's going on in the world. Okay. So this is Gossip of the City. YSL member Yak Gotti allegedly involved in an attempted stabbing at Fulton County Jail. Okay, don't care about that. Jada Chief showing off. She got a new car. She got a Maybach. Okay. Saints Alvin Kamara sued by alleged victim for $10 million. For what? $10 million? Let me see. Let's open that up. Somebody look beat up. Ooh, that looks bad. A civil suit has been filed by the victim, Darnell Green, who claims he was attacked outside a Las Vegas nightclub during the Pro Bowl weekend in February. Green claims he was among a group of people waiting for an elevator near Dre's around 6:30 a.m. Kamara put his hand on his chest to keep him from entering the lift. Green says Kamara then shoved him into a wall and repeatedly punched him in the face. The brutal, violent assault broke Green's orbital lobe, severely injured his shoulder, back, and neck, and left him temporarily unconscious and helpless on the floor. Green is seeking $10 million in compensatory and punitive damages. Yikes. Yeah, that looks bad. These athletes and people with money in general need to think about what they're doing before they put their hands on people. When you got something to lose, man, it's just really not, that ain't it. What else they talking about? Yeah, I already talked about Megan's house getting broken into. The hardest pill I swallowed was realizing I ain't mean nothing to people that meant a lot to me. This is from Taina Oh, let me see.
Guy that comes home.
Yeah,
No joke.
It's
That's
not,
here at dinner time.
it's not easy. I mean, when you
It's
make
not
your,
easy.
well,
No.
that's why as women you have to make money and have your own.
Oops. Oh well. I wasn't really trying to hear that. They don't really have a lot going on. Faith Evans moves forward with divorce from Stevie J. I thought they were already divorced. Jeez.
I want your bitch, we can't swap out. Ain't no shit, tell no pop out. Mama, I got.
Yeah, that was
I'm
Lil
in the
Baby.
studio with Glorilla, and I don't even got no words to say. Like,
Period.
wait.
Big shit, number one.
Okay, so
Number
look,
one.
Is it just me or does Cardi's face look like a whole different person? Looks swollen. She must have just got some more work done or some Botox or something. Her teeth look good, but she looks, slow down, Cardi. So that's her and Glorilla. Okay, let's. Oh, Jeannie Aiko and Big Sean had the baby. Oh no, they're announcing that they're having a boy. Oh, that's cute. I never really bought that relationship, but oh, here's Lotto and her receipts.
Other girls are flourishing. It's delusional to say that other girls are flourishing.
We can barely
I
hear.
never said that you're no longer running shit. I said that there are other females flourishing. What is the problem with it? Okay. Well,
Okay, I can barely hear that, but yeah, that's crazy. What else? What else? Nothing else. Cuba Gooding Jr. I forgot about this case. It says he avoids jail time in forcible touching case by complying with the terms of a conditional plea agreement that saw him plead guilty to charges involving just one of what prosecutors have said were allegations from at least 30 women. Oh my gosh. These women have accused Cuba of groping, unwanted kissing, and other inappropriate behavior. Assistant Manhattan DA Colleen Balbert told a judge Thursday that since the deal was reached in April, Gooding has stayed out of trouble and completed 6 months of alcohol and behavioral counseling that enabled him to withdraw his misdemeanor guilty plea for forcibly kissing a waitress at a Manhattan nightclub in 2018 and instead plead guilty to a non-criminal harassment violation. What? If Gooding had failed to comply with the terms of the deal, he would have faced up to 1 year in jail. Wow. Wow. Well, I hope that lasts, that treatment, because otherwise he's going to end up right back in court again, and this time they probably going to throw his ass in jail for longer than a year. He looks jacked up in this picture. Damn, Cuba. Probably alcohol. That's what it looks like. Fashion Nova. Rapper Sue Surf arrested on federal RICO charge in New Jersey. Oh, we got another RICO. Another rapper with another RICO. Federal authorities reportedly arrested rapper Sue Surf on a federal RICO charge in connection with a DEA case. The U.S. Marshal Service New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force busted Sue Surf at a home in New Jersey, sources said. Sue Surf was at home with a woman and refused to come out for about an hour. Authorities called in crisis negotiators who then talked to him until he peacefully surrendered. Then he was taken to Essex County Jail. The feds have a contract with the county to keep federal detainees there. He's expected to go before a judge in federal court in Newark sometime on Friday, which was today. Wow. Yeah, somebody said they're making up for the years off they had from COVID. Well, don't do drugs. Don't sell drugs. Stay away from drugs, people. Stay away from drugs and all the trouble that's going to get you a RICO. Because they're giving them out like candy. They done kicked the door down with R. Kelly. All right. I'm gonna go to a different site. This one is not giving. Who are these people? Homicide is connected to Playboy Cardi and nominally to Future, a big name. They have had an ongoing rivalry with henchmen. That is, two bloods sets shooting at one another. There's a trail of dead and jailed rappers all through this beef. What? Where's the rest of the info? The Atlantic Object. Okay, I'm gonna have to look this guy up. Neon flag. So apparently, it sounds like there's a gang rivalry going on, and these rappers, Future, Playboy Cardi, are attached. And there's rappers and people dying left and right because of it. Yeah, somebody's saying, why would they even confirm this stuff without bringing charges? That's interesting. I'm going to look into that one. Okay, that's some Real Housewives of Atlanta gossip. I know y'all don't care about that, huh? Skincare commercial. Genuine talking about he's Superman.
That girl, man, this is what she want right now, yo. I every day.
So this is just hilarious, and she's talking about Christian Rock. I think that's her name. You guys know who Christian Rock is, right? She's been with Blueface, the rapper, looking crazy in these streets, going to jail behind this guy, getting arrested left and right. Both of them actually fighting with his own mother and sister. So I guess Jess has some about it. What she got to say? Let's see.
This girl's in the blog every day for something negative and people judging her and shit like that. Yo, look, that girl don't even fucking read comments. That's one thing I love about her. Sometimes I've just gotten to the point where I can ignore comments and I go through them. That girl, you will never see her comments. Shit. Never. She's Beyonce to this shit. Because she know what she gonna do at the end of the day.
Okay.
She know she's not. Bitch, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. I had a hard life coming up and I got all these talents and gifts, but I'm living my life right now. I lost a tooth for this nigga. Let this nigga, but I got this nigga Ted. Yo, look.
I forgot about that. She did lose a tooth for him and got his face tatted on her throat.
She ain't nobody love her like that, so she think that's love. That's not fucking love, Krishan. That's not love. Like, that shit gets me very emotional every day. Like, man.
I'm glad she's saying that because a lot of these blogs are putting them out there like they are goals because they've been getting these club gigs. I think she broke up with him though, so I don't know that this is happening. They supposedly had a reality show that was coming out. But yeah, this is not what the message we want to be showing to our girls, do we? At all. So good for Jess for speaking out on that. Yeah, it's really nothing really going on. But I know the January 6th hearings wrapped up, right? I think they've announced they want to talk to Trump, which I thought they had already done, or they should have been done that. So I guess that's what's next. I'm going to look up this guy about this thing. Neon flag. None of these people are that guy. That's weird. Okay. Get off my screen.
Coach, how you feeling today? No, straight up. I was actually how you feeling. Was not talking like that just 2 minutes ago. Can you do the interview? Can you come in like you normally sound? I just want to be clear and concise. And professional? Yes, sir. So being you is not professional? Well, I mean, I can't say, "Hey, what's up, Cole?" I can't do that. I ain't asked you to do that. I just want you to be you. Okay, yes, sir. All right, you start over. Right. All right. Join me as Jackson State coach, Coach Brown. Is that the same? Dog, it's the same. Like, just be you. Just try your best.
Okay. Deion Sanders. Always clown the child. Let me see what the shade room got. He's next. We need to get him too. I know Cardi looked crazy, didn't she? Okay, what we got going on here? Somebody's birthday. Looks like some music I'm not trying to hear. Okay. Department of Education begins beta testing for student loan forgiveness application. They can beta test with me. So they're really going to launch this thing. So they're putting a beta version out of the federal student loan forgiveness application on Friday, which was today. They're now accepting applications. So accepting them ahead of the official form launch. If you submit an application, it will be processed and you don't need to resubmit. Okay. Well, I know what I'll be again. According to the Washington Post, the portal will be available on and off during the beta period. Okay. So you got to get on it if that's what you want. Yeah, where is it? Department's technical team will occasionally pause the site for assessments, refinements, and maintenance ahead of the application launch later this month. Okay. Cool. All right, Sharon. What else is happening here? Don't care about Meek Mill. What's Sukiana doing? Okay. They're saying billions of crabs have disappeared and researchers cannot explain why. Those trash pots going to be looking some kind of sad. According to CBS News, there's now a limited supply of snow crabs. For the first time in history, the Alaska Department of Fish and Game has canceled the winter snow crab season in Bering Sea due to limited availability, resulting in low numbers. What happened to all the crabs? They can't explain why. I know some people who are not going to like that. They can't get their crabs, child. Going to have to adjust. It's a lot of things that are not available anymore or that are low in inventory these days. These are ugly to me. These are, I guess they're Pumas. What is this? No. People probably wear that though. That shit is ugly. Oh, they're Balenciagas. No wonder. Yeah, we will definitely see these for people trying to stunt. Balenciaga got the sneaker heels for a little over a stack. So a little over $1,000, you can get you some Balenciaga. Some stilts here. These are very ugly. And the shoes themselves look worn the fuck out, like they've been through a marathon already. What is going on? They're probably comfortable. They're golf tees. Okay. Got it. That's ugly. Okay. There's Blueface himself, child, with his new baby. Academics is always in the headlines. I don't care about him. Okay. There's one more site I'm going to check before I get out of here. Since ain't really nothing to cover here. Mark of the Cancers. I'm a Cancer. Usher's birthday was the 14th. Yesterday or today? Well, technically yesterday. You know what? I used to love me some Usher. I don't know what happened, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it was that stuff. Remember when he was married and all that stuff was going on between him and his wife, and his son was murdered tragically, and all that stuff was going on. Then he had the herpes accusations. I guess I just was like, enough. Okay, let me just see what's going on. Oh yeah, there was a situation happening here in LA, but I might make a separate video for that because it's having to do with LA politics, and you know, it's a story. I should have been talking about that instead of talking about that damn Cory Hardrict vampire story. But yeah, some city council people, the president, and some other people were caught saying some racial slurs against the blacks. They're with the blacks. And one line, but it's a whole thing, child. Okay, I'm just checking for Herschel Walker. We got to get Herschel Walker out of there. He cannot win in this election that's upcoming. Anybody out here in Georgia who is going to be, y'all, anybody 18 and over should be voting, and not for Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker says pulls out a police badge at Georgia Senate debate after Raphael Warnock mocked him for claiming to be an officer. As NFL legend says, he works with many police officers. So he just has an official badge in his pocket. And they say he repeatedly says he's a member of law enforcement. So he was getting mocked by his rival, so he pulls a badge. This guy is off his rocker. The Cobb County Police Department told the paper it had no record of involvement with Walker. He had no business with that badge. Like, you already know he's going to be abusing his power just based on this. Y'all got to get the vote out now. Yes, I am a Cancer. Let's share this one last. What else? So I just told you about the applications for the student loan forgiveness. Creepy Joe strikes again. They call him Creepy Joe on the Daily Mail. Biden sneaks up behind the girl, grabs her shoulders, and tells her, "No serious guys until you're 30," as the uncomfortable teen tries to laugh it off. Ew, he is creepy. Yeah, they always have him in these situations where you can see these girls are uncomfortable. Why is he all on them like this? This y'all president. We really didn't have much of a choice, did we? Okay, what else is going on here? American Airlines passenger complains after being sandwiched between two obese people for 3 hours and says people who need seatbelt extenders are too fat to fly. But airline says our passengers come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, to be honest, they really should design these planes, a little bit better. But at the same time, I could, I understand where she's coming from, because I've had a situation. I had to move. I would thank God there was a seat available where I actually had my own aisle. But yeah, there was woo, they was squeezed inside the thing. I was on the outside, but still, it was like barely any room for me to move, even though I had the aisle. She had my whole left side just like, she had that thing on lock. But yeah, this is bad. 3 hours. That flight must have been packed too. I would have told them to let me have the aisle seat. At least you could have one of your arms free. Let's see. CNN host confronts ex-president Jeff Zucker and accuses him of turning the network partisan by not covering Hunter Biden laptop story. They're still talking about that laptop story. I'm sure Miss Della could give us the tea on that, because I know there's a lot with that also, but I'm definitely not getting into that. Okay. Well, Eric Adams is in the news. The New York mayor. Did Eric Adams fail to declare cookbook income? New York City mayor said he received an advance up to $50,000 from Vegan Tone, but didn't declare it on his tax form. Why would you not do that, Mr. Mayor? Like literally the mayor of New York City. You know better than that. What is this? Dehydrated, bleeding, and super skinny. Barefoot woman who escaped Missouri sex dungeon looked like she came from a horror movie, says nurse who helped rescue her as cops investigate whether captor killed other women. Oh my God. Horrible. She was held for a month in a basement torture dungeon with a metal collar tied around her neck, frantically assisted to rescuers that her captor killed 2 of my friends, she said. It does sound out of a movie. Police have confirmed that detectives are taking the claim seriously and are actively investigating whether other women met their death at the hands of Missouri monster Timothy Hazlitt. The young woman, still bleeding from wounds caused by being whipped and restrained, seized her chance to escape the house of horrors when alleged captor Timothy Hazlitt, 39, took his son to school last week. Are you kidding? She hurtled barefoot out of the rundown rental property and fled 100 yards downhill along a street diagonally facing the home in a quiet part of the 10,000-strong community 30 miles from Kansas City. Fearfully crouching down, the emaciated 22-year-old approached the single-family home of nurse Lisa Johnson and softly uttered just 2 words: "Help me." Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, I'm so glad she's free. I'm sorry her friends, that's really messed up if your friends didn't make it and you happen to see that. Oh my God. And the guy is still keeping you. This world is too much. It's all kinds of nut jobs out there. I don't know who these people are. Okay. Putin's near nuclear face-off. Russian tyrant moves his bombers to Europe's doorstep days before a huge NATO exercise. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is the last story and then I'm out. Billionaire 62, owner of Chrysler Building, tells London High Court he doesn't want to pay his estranged 47-year-old wife $50 million because he wants their children to learn the value of money. So you want your children to learn the value of money, so you don't want to give your ex-wife. Okay, you're going to put it on the kids. Let's see. It says they're embroiled in a high court battle. His name is Michael Fuchs. or Fuchs, probably Fuchs. That sounds like it was spelled like fucks. He's like, fuck you, I'm not paying you $50 million. 62 years old, he told Mr. Justice Molston last Friday that he is of the view that smothering the children in luxuries made them jaded. And it says Mr. Fuchs moved from to the U.S. in the 1990s. Former French journalist Alvina Cordelou Fuchs, 47, at a private hearing in a family division in London. He's been asked to make the decision over how much she should walk away with following the breakdown of the marriage. Give her whatever money she's supposed to get, man. She probably dealt with a bunch of it. And if they have kids, then, and I doubt that's her. That she's not 47 years old, that lady. It's probably his new female. Y'all move quick, Wayne. Oh my God, multiple human remains discovered in Oklahoma River near where 4 men disappeared just days after one's girlfriend said she feared the group was dead. Oh man, y'all, there's so much going on in the world. Please be safe while you're out there in these streets. Use your discernment. There was a lady on TikTok talking about how she almost, and I'll just tell this story real quick. She basically, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. She wanted to get up early, and that's when she gets up and gets her errands done and things. She was at a Walmart by like 6 o'clock in the morning. She said when she was in the parking lot leaving her car going into the store, she did notice a white van parked on the other side of the parking lot. When she came out of the store after shopping, she said when she got into the store, she noticed there was a lady that had come in after her and seemed to be kind of watching her. She said the lady didn't buy anything, but when she got to the check stand, the lady left. When she left the store, she noticed the white van was parked maybe 4 or 5 spaces from her car. And so she kept walking to her car and noticed the van's door cracked open. At that point, she pulled her gun out, and that's where the TikTok ended. So people in the comments, like myself, want to know what happened. Did they just leave the scene? Did they try to play it off? I mean, I'm really curious. But the point is that she kept her awareness up. She noticed the van right off. When she came out, she noticed how close it was. And I was wondering, why are you walking to the van? You should be going back into the store. But she had her gun, child. So if you are a registered gun user and you are carrying, be careful and safe. But hey, do what you got to do. That's what you have the gun for, is to protect yourself, right? So you can't be hesitant, child. You got to be ready to use it if you pull it. But with all that being said, I'm out. I'm finally tired. I think I can actually go to sleep. But I appreciate you. Thank you, Wayne, for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. And anybody who comes in the replay, thank you for coming to the Goddess Lounge. I'll be back. Till then.